Do I actively listen to others, or am I just waiting for my turn to speak? Communication is the foundation of human relationships. Yet, it is often fraught with misunderstanding and frustration. At the heart of communication lies listening, not simply hearing words, but truly absorbing their meaning, intent, and emotion. The question that arises is whether we genuinely listen to others or merely wait for our turn to speak. This distinction determines the depth of our relationships, the quality of our interactions, and the level of understanding we achieve with others. The Bible provides profound insight into the importance of listening. James 1:19 instructs, "Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." This verse emphasizes the significance of prioritizing listening before responding. It recognizes that much of human conflict and misunderstanding stems from a failure to listen with an open heart. Too often, we form our responses while the other person is still speaking, eager to present our point of view rather than understanding theirs. Scientific research supports this biblical principle. Studies in neuroscience reveal that the brain processes spoken language in milliseconds. Yet many individuals shift their focus from listening to forming a reply long before their conversation partner has finished speaking. This results in shallow engagement, where words are exchanged, but true understanding is lacking. Psychological studies indicate that people feel most valued when they sense they are being truly heard. Active listening fosters trust, reduces conflict, and strengthens emotional bonds. Active listening requires intentionality. It demands more than silence while another speaks. It necessitates engagement. Jesus exemplified this in his interactions. When people came to him with their burdens, he listened intently before responding. In Luke 18:40-41, when a blind man cried out for mercy, Jesus did not assume his need. Instead, he asked, "What do you want me to do for you?" By doing so, he gave space for the man to express his heart. How often do we assume we know what another person is saying without truly hearing them? A key component of active listening is empathy. Proverbs 18:13 states, "To answer before listening, that is folly and shame." When we listen with empathy, we do not merely hear words. We perceive emotions, struggles, and unspoken truths. We place ourselves in the other person's position, seeking to understand their experiences and feelings before formulating a response. Science affirms that empathy activates neural pathways in the brain that enhance connection and trust. When people feel understood, they are more likely to open up, fostering deeper relationships. The opposite of active listening is reactive listening, listening with the intent to reply rather than to understand. This is often driven by ego, the desire to assert one's perspective, or an impatience to move the conversation toward one's own agenda. Proverbs 29:20 warns, "Do you see someone who speaks in haste? There is more hope for a fool than for them." When we fail to listen fully, we risk misinterpreting the other person's words, leading to unnecessary conflict and disconnection. Another crucial aspect of listening is nonverbal communication. Studies suggest that up to 70% of communication is conveyed through body language, tone, and facial expressions. A person may say, "I'm fine," yet their posture, tone, and expression may suggest otherwise. Active listening involves observing these cues and responding to them with sensitivity. Jesus often discerned the unspoken needs of those around him. In Mark 5:32-34, he turned to the woman who touched his garment for healing, addressing her deeper need for affirmation and peace beyond just physical healing. In practical terms, how do we cultivate active listening? First, we must slow down. In a fast-paced world, conversations often become rushed, reducing opportunities for meaningful connection. When we practice patience in conversations, we give others the time and space to express themselves fully. This aligns with Ecclesiastes 3:7, which reminds us that there is a time to be silent and a time to speak. Recognizing the value of silence allows for reflection and deeper understanding. Second, we should practice reflective listening. This involves summarizing or paraphrasing what the other person has said to ensure clarity. Jesus modeled this when he engaged in conversations, often repeating or rephrasing a person's words to confirm their intent. When we do this, we show that we value the speaker's words and are committed to understanding them fully. Third, we must set aside distractions. In today's digital age, attentiveness is often compromised by technology. Many people engage in conversations while glancing at their phones or multitasking. This fragmented attention diminishes the quality of listening. When we give someone our undivided attention, we communicate respect, love, and value. Philippians 2:4 encourages, "Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others." True listening requires a selfless focus on the speaker rather than on our own thoughts or distractions. Fourth, we must cultivate a heart of humility. Pride is one of the greatest barriers to active listening. If we approach conversations with a mindset that our perspective is superior, we close ourselves off to genuine understanding. Humility allows us to listen without preconceptions, to be teachable, and to acknowledge that there is wisdom to be gained from every person we encounter. Proverbs 11:2 states, "When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom." Finally, we must listen with love. True listening is an act of love, as it prioritizes the needs, emotions, and concerns of another above our own immediate desire to be heard. 1 Corinthians 13:4-5 reminds us, "Love is patient, love is kind, it is not self-seeking." When we listen with love, we offer a safe space for others to express themselves without fear of judgment or interruption. Ultimately, the way we listen reflects our character and spiritual maturity. Jesus frequently emphasized the importance of ears that hear and hearts that understand. In Matthew 13:9, he said, "Whoever has ears, let them hear." This statement goes beyond physical hearing. It calls us to a deeper level of engagement, where we truly comprehend and internalize what is spoken to us. So, do we truly listen, or are we merely waiting for our turn to speak? Each conversation presents an opportunity to practice active listening, to grow in empathy, and to reflect the love of Christ in our interactions. If we commit to listening with intention, patience, and humility, our relationships will deepen, our conflicts will lessen, and our ability to connect with others will flourish. In the end, being heard is a deep human need, but being truly listened to is a gift we can offer to those around us.